The truth is simple. People disrespect you because you've taught them that they can. Not through your words, but through your silence, your second chances, your explanations, and your willingness to shrink yourself so the situation won't explode. Most disrespect doesn't happen suddenly. It builds slowly. From all the moments you brush things off, all the times you told yourself, it's fine, it's not that serious, all the times you chose peace on the outside while creating chaos on the inside. But disrespect is a mirror. It reflects what you've allowed, what you've excused, and what you've convinced yourself you had to tolerate. The good news? Respect works the same way. The moment you shift your standards, the moment you stop over-explaining, the moment you start moving with quiet certainty, people will feel it. You don't need to yell, you don't need to argue, you don't need to prove anything. You simply need to decide, I'm done entertaining any version of myself that accepts disrespect. This is where your power begins. This is where people start treating you differently. Not because they suddenly changed, but because you did. Step 1, stop explaining yourself. Every time you over-explain, you hand your power away. You turn your decisions into debates. You turn your boundaries into negotiations. And you turn your peace into something other people feel entitled to question. Listen carefully. You do not owe explanations to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. If someone wants to twist your words, they will. If someone wants to disrespect your choices, they will. No amount of talking will change a person who benefits from you staying small. And here's the truth no one likes to admit. Over-explaining isn't communication. It's fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of being disliked. Fear of being seen as too much or too difficult. But every time you try to justify your peace, you lose some of it. You don't need to defend your boundaries. You don't need to argue for what you feel. You don't need to convince anyone that your no is valid. The strongest move you can make is a calm, confident silence. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, people suddenly have to face their own behavior without your words cushioning the truth. Step 2, silence commands respect. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strategy. Silence is power in its purest form. When someone disrespects you, they expect a reaction, anger, tears, defensiveness, anything that shows they got inside your mind. What they do not expect is stillness. Your calmness is confrontational. It forces people to sit with what they did without the distraction of your reaction. It makes them question themselves in ways your words never could. Because silence says, I'm not entertaining this version of you. I don't argue for my worth. If you can't meet me with respect, you won't meet me at all. When you stop reacting, they start reflecting. When you stop feeding the conflict loses its power. And when you stop giving people emotional access they haven't earned, everything shifts. Your silence becomes a mirror. Your composure becomes a boundary. And your lack of reaction becomes the loudest message in the room. Step 3, walk away with dignity. There is nothing more disarming to a disrespectful person than your absence. Not your anger, not your explanations, your absence. You don't argue with someone who has already shown you they don't value your peace. You don't beg someone to understand what they're not mature enough to handle. You don't match their energy, you remove yours entirely. Walking away isn't weakness, it's discipline. It's choosing yourself over chaos. It's saying, I refuse to participate in anything that makes me lose respect for myself. And here's the psychological truth. Your absence will teach them far more than your presence ever could. Distance creates clarity, silence creates consequences, and dignity creates respect. You don't have to announce your departure. You don't need a monologue. You simply step back calmly, consistently, and without emotional fireworks. That is what separates people who demand attention from people who inspire respect. Step 4, the psychology of self-respect. Self-respect isn't a feeling, it's a standard. And the moment that standard becomes non-negotiable, disrespect becomes impossible. People don't respect your words, they respect your consistency. If you set a boundary but break it every time someone pushes, they learn that your lines are suggestions, not limits. But when your boundaries are clear, when your behavior matches your values, when your energy is aligned with what you will and will not accept, people have no choice but to adjust. Because self-respect sends a message without you ever opening your mouth. This is not how my soul deserves to be treated. If you cannot meet me with respect, you won't meet me for long. I am no longer available for anything that drains, diminishes, or disrespects me. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And the less you react, the more control you gain. When your self-respect rises, the entire room feels it. Your energy sharpens, your presence shifts, your standards speak for you. Step 5, the power of calm detachment. You can't make everyone respect you. And trying to do so only drains your energy, frustrates your spirit, and keeps you trapped in someone else's story. But you can make disrespect irrelevant. You can detach from it without bitterness or drama. You can let it exist without giving it a seat at your table. Calm detachment is not ignoring reality. It's refusing to let someone else's immaturity control your emotional state. It's saying, I see you, I notice you, but your behavior has no power over me. When you stop chasing respect, it starts finding you. When you stop proving your worth, people who already see it rise naturally into your orbit. When you stop reacting to chaos, you become a calm anchor in a turbulent world. The ultimate power isn't loudness, it's stillness. It isn't forcing someone to acknowledge you, it's creating a presence they cannot ignore. It's being unshakable even when others try to provoke you. Your calm mind combined with strong boundaries is unstoppable. It's the ultimate form of self-respect. Step 6, raise your standards, not your voice. Respect is a reflection of how you treat yourself. The louder you argue, the more you show doubt in your own value. The calmer, firmer, and more consistent you are, the higher your energy rises and the higher the standard others must meet. Raising your standards doesn't mean creating rules for the world. It means refusing to accept less than you deserve. It means making choices that honor your time, your energy, and your peace. It means walking through life in a way that says, this is who I am and I will not shrink for anyone. You don't need to yell to be heard. You don't need to fight to be valued. You don't need to explain to be respected. The tone you set internally dictates the tone the world follows. When your energy demands respect, your presence commands it naturally. Remember, people will always test boundaries. But when you raise your standards quietly, without drama, they adjust or they step aside. And that is how dignity becomes a force no one can ignore. Step 7, let your silence be the final word. Silence is not empty, it's a crown. It's the ultimate statement of self-respect. When someone disrespects you, the most powerful response isn't arguing. It isn't explaining. It isn't proving your worth. It's rising above. It's showing through calm, composed presence that you will not be shaken, that your peace is non-negotiable, that your energy cannot be bargained with. Your silence communicates more than words ever could. I know my worth. I do not participate in anything that diminishes me. If you cannot meet me with respect, you won't meet me here at all. Let silence be the final word. Let your actions, your calm detachment, your boundaries, your dignity speak louder than any argument. Walk away if you must, and let your presence, your energy, your standards do the rest. The world notices strength, even when it's quiet. True respect is never demanded. It is reflected, earned naturally, and felt deeply. When you start practicing these 7 steps, you won't just handle disrespect. You'll transform how the world interacts with you. If this message spoke to your soul, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below, I honor my boundaries, if you're ready to rise in your own strength and stand in your self-respect. Remember, protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. The strongest people are the ones who value themselves first without apology. Subscribe, stay connected, and keep walking your path with clarity and confidence. You deserve respect from yourself and from the world around you.